Good morning, beautiful friends. Oh my goodness, I am so, so grateful that we get to spend this next hour together delving into the world of creative magic. If you haven't met me before, I'm Leonie Dawson, and I'm thrilled to be your creative guide for this morning's delight. So, before I begin, as always, I want to begin by acknowledging that I live and work on the lands of the Ngambri and Ngunnawal people here in Canberra, and I want to pay my respects to their elders, past, present, and emerging. And because we're spread out all across the globe, I want to pay my respects to the traditional custodians and the elders of the lands and seas where you are as well. So, I really wanted to talk about creative magic. And here's the thing. So I am somebody who has created a lot in their lifetime. I have created thousands of artworks. I have written thousands of articles. I have written and illustrated dozens of books now. And I love making and creating and sharing. And when I share about the amount of things I've created, people always want to know, like, how have you created all of that? Especially when you consider I've never been a full-time creative. I've managed to do those things in about 10 hours a week because I used to work a government job, and then I only left when I have kids, and I really wanted to be super present with my kids. And so I've built my creativity and my business as well, which is now an 8-figure business, in the corners of my beautiful life. And there's so many ways you can create so many miracles still in the corners of your life. And when people ask me how, I think often they want the answer to be something like, oh, I just use this pen, like this special magic pen, and that pen is so good at writing, it makes you so much faster. Or like there's going to be some kind of time hack involved, or there's going to be just like some like little surface thing that will enable them to create creative magic as well. And here's the thing, it's not about the the how of the time, like the magic pen and the time hacks. Instead, what it requires is looking at creativity in a whole different light and restoring it back to its factory settings, the original source code of the universe of how creativity is supposed to be. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. It is restoring this original source code of creativity so that you can be even more prolific. But most of all, you can enjoy creativity in the way that it's supposed to, without the second guessing, without the inner critic, without the paralysis of perfection. We want to make it back to what it's supposed to be, which is magic again. It's going to be so much fun. So I can see there's about 80 odd people who are listening. If you could let me know that you can hear me okay, share where you're listening in from around the world, that would be so, so beautiful. And I also want to share as well that we have prizes to give away today. We are going to, for people who would like to share about this, so if you want to take screenshot of it and tag me on it in social media, or if you want to tag a friend in the comments, if you want to share this live stream onto your Facebook page, anything that you feel inspired, or DM a friend to come join, then all you need to do is pop in the comments #shared, and at the end I will do a draw for people and you will win a enrollment in my new program Creative Goddess, which begins tomorrow. If you are an Academy member of mine, or if you're already enrolled in Creative Goddess, you can gift it to somebody else. So that will be so much fun, just to have as many people joining us for creative magic as well. Hooray, hooray. Oh, I love this. There's people from Texas, Arizona, Arkansas, Utah, the Netherlands, Minneapolis, Norfolk in the UK, another one from the Netherlands, which is just delicious. People, we've got Veet from Bundjalung country in northern New South Wales. Oh, I love you, Veet. Hope you're staying safe with all of the rain. Denise from Aberdeenshire in northeast Scotland. Beautiful, beautiful California, Sunshine Coast. Sunshine Coast, I love that. Scotland, oh, another one from Scotland. Oh my goodness, the creative magic spreading out all across the globe. So before we dive into the restoring of factory settings, what I would like to do is to just for us to have a moment of connecting in together. So if you'd like, just closing your eyes, start taking deep breaths down into your belly. Breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. Just giving yourself this moment of connection with yourself, with your body, with this present moment. Breathing deeply in through your nose and out through your mouth, or whatever feels comfortable for you. Letting your shoulders drop just a little bit. Letting your jaw relax just a little bit. Letting your chest relax just a little bit. Letting your belly and your womb relax just a little bit. Letting your ears relax just a little bit. Letting your mouth relax just a little bit. Letting your spine relax just a little bit. Letting your butt relax just a little bit. Let's not forget those gluteus maximus. They deserve a bit of chill. letting your calves and your quads relaxing just a little bit. Letting every part of you relax just a little bit. Letting your toes and your fingers relax just a little bit. Letting every little fleck of hair relax just a little bit. Letting a wave of relaxation wash over our bodies for every part that wants to relax just a little bit or a lot. You are safe and you are loved and you are whole and you are ready to receive creative magic. And because we're spread out all across the globe, if you'd like, if you want to feel in your heart a golden spark of light, and if you could imagine that just above the world there is the Deva of creative magic, the one that holds the original source codes, the pure instinct of what creativity truly is. With that golden fleck of light, letting it beam up and out to connect with the Deva of creative magic. And as you can see, we're all across the globe. And so it becomes this beautiful golden web of light, a network of light connecting with creative magic and with each other for the highest light and good of all. God, Great Spirit, Mama Earth, all that is, may this time together and always be for the highest light and good of all. May we birth healing into the world with our creative magic. May we be even more of our highest selves and our deepest souls through our creativity. And may this next hour together be filled with love, blessings, connection, restoration, and healing. So may it be. And then just rubbing your hands over your heart, over your belly, your legs, whatever feels right for you right now. Just coming back into your body. If you'd like a little stretch. Oh, big stretch. Big stretch. Do you know like when a pet stretches, like you see a dog stretch, you gotta go, ooh, big stretch. Otherwise you're a psychopath. I just like doing it to humans now too, including myself. So whenever I stretch, I go, "Ooh, big stretch," like I'm the cleverest person on the planet. And I am. Look at that. Big stretch. Big stretch. I stretched so hard. My necklace fell off, guys. Oh, okay. Blessings, blessings. Okay, so let's dive into restoring these factory settings of creativity. Now, for this time, if you like, you can, if you have a journal, you can journal in there as we talk. Or if you'd like, you can just share it by typing it into the comments. And I'd love to see your reflections so that we can, it's like, this is like a creative cauldron, and we're going to pop everything in there, and together, wombat stew. But instead of wombat stew, we're making creative magic. So I want you to tell me, what do you feel like blocks you from creating more? What are the hardest parts of creating? How do you feel when you're in the midst of creating? So you may feel excited to do things. You may feel ready to go, but then it feels like this enormous amount of pressure over the top of you. There may be inner critic that comes up. There may be just this constant second guessing. Veet says she worries that she's doing it the right way. If she's doing it the right way. Chaya says she feels fatigue. Caroline says that whatever I do isn't good enough and people might laugh. Angela says she has a fear of being mocked. Ollie says she has a fear of failure and a fear to shine. Jenny says that no one's buying what I've already created, so I feel defeated and like nobody wants what I'm offering. Blythe says staying motivated and not overwhelmed with the things that need doing. Norali says overthinking. Sue Ann says fighting grief and losing my beloved creative mojo. Oh no. Natalie says that I'm not creative enough and others are better than me. Pella says carving out time and space with all the demands in my life, like parenting young children, working and householding. Diane says a sense of obligation to other things. Andrea says she feels incredible and in complete and authentic flow, as though I won't stop. I love that. Teresa says anxiety about things that are going in my life and that the world keeps me from creating. Here's the thing. We are going through one of those times in the world where it feels incredibly intense. And it feels like that our time spent in creativity is not what we should be doing when we feel like the world is on fire and that we must just keep watching Like the more eyes on this situation, that will stop it. And like I spoke about in 2025 Dream Quest when we did that beautiful experience, it is such an easy response. It was something like when I thought about at the beginning of this year, the easiest response to me for the world that was going on would have been, I just knew that I could just look at my phone and doom scroll and spiral into fear, anxiety, and anger about everything that's happening. And in that, I would feel paralyzed and not able to create, not able to enjoy my one true beautiful life, not able to birth beauty or goodness in the world, not able to activate my own healing, just to be stuck in this paralysis of, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. And what I realized is that it does not help me and it does not help the world for me to be a permanent 24/7 listener, reactor to the latest shit fight in the news. Will it change the way I donate? Will it change the way I vote? Will it change the way that I am an activist in the world? That 24/7 like consumption of the latest shit fight is not helpful for me to be able to do the work that I want to do. And so I personally I'm taking this year, and as long as is needed, as a very strictly limited news diet, because I don't want to keep spending my time in anger and reaction, which then causes me for my nervous system to be dysregulated and not able to create good things in my world. I will not allow them to take my creativity. I will not allow them to take my joy. I will not allow them to take my peace. What I will do is I will strongly protect this so that then I can go on and create good things in the world. So if you're in the academy, you can listen to 2025 Dream Quest if you haven't already. We go deeper into that. But the thing about creativity is that the original source code of creativity and how it's supposed to feel and how I experience it is that it is a place of healing. It is a place where I can weave together all of the things that is happening in the world and in my life and in my inner self. And I can weave all of those threads, which feel very knotty, into a tapestry of wisdom and understanding and insight. And I can also look at all of the things that are beautiful in this world, because there is still so much beauty and so much goodness. And here's the incredible secret, right? Is that it's been fucked up all along. Like there has never been a time in history, really, when it's all been solid for every human on the planet. We as humans have lived through hundreds of thousands of years of feast and famine and fuck-uppery and ridiculousness. And we have continued to innovate and heal and create a better world. This is not an anomaly. This is how it truly is. And when we look at, I think about my my three wise elders, my grandmother and her sister, and Nan, who was kind of like an adoptive grandmother, they went through so much in terms of droughts, in terms of bushfires, in terms of world wars, in terms of grief and loss, in terms of just absolute dickheads running politics. And they didn't just survive, but they thrived, and they created so much love and so much magic in their lives. If you knew of, if there's some people that come from my small town and they know my grandmother Marion, and they know Lucy, and they know Nan, and these were women who lit up the world that they were in. They created so much love wherever they went, despite and because of they'd gone through it all. Studio Blocknote says, I think the difference is that we get it in our faces daily through the news and the internet. Yeah, and you get to cultivate that experience. Absolutely. Absolutely. But I actually don't receive news on the internet anymore. I really carefully curate my screen time and what I follow so that I don't receive it in that way. And it's not because I don't want to be uninformed, it's because I want to make sure that I stay regulated and that I receive what I want to receive so I can carry on creating magic in the world. Okay, so our creativity is exactly what's needed at this time. And it is a beautiful act of resistance and activism for us to spend time with our beautiful selves, making the magic come through us. Now, we talked about like the creative blocks and how you can often feel when you're creating. My next question that I would love for you to journal about or to share in the comments is, where does that voice come from? When did it start? Because I promise you, there was a time when you didn't have those feelings about creativity. So there's been times when, in the beginning days, you were just in the thick of the art. Veet says it comes from my mother. I never felt like anything I did was quite right. Sometimes it's from our teachers. Sometimes it's from other people. Sometimes it's less of like an individual person that has said something and more of a cultural energy around it. At a certain age, you get old enough to just feel like you're just hearing all the negative voices about creativity and whether you're good enough and whether, so you are worthy enough to be an artist. Blythe says, I allowed a parent to convince me I was not enough. It took me 1,000 miles of distance and nearly 2 decades to clear that garbage out of my head. Pella says, the pressures of surviving in capitalism. I must be productive in specific ways to pay rent, etc. Yeah, absolutely. When we think about the ways in which we've picked up this voice, it is the voice of other people and and culture? Is it the voice, however, of God? Is it the voice of the angels? Because that inner critic, that heavy pressure energy over our creativity, it comes from humans, bless us, who have a flawed understanding of creativity and of love. And we're all trying for different things. We're all looking for love in the wrong directions, but we make mistakes sometimes in the ways that we view things. It's like, for example, where I live in Canberra, there are a lot of currawong birds, and they are mostly black birds, but with a little bit of white. And for years, I thought they were crows because I was just like, blackbird equals crow. Didn't know there was any other options. Until one of my friends, Mr. Paris, is like, no, it's a currawong. I'm like, oh! We all look at something and go, oh, it's that. We make the mistake like, oh, it's that. It is not. It's an entirely different thing. And the same is true with all of our assumptions of the world. Is this truly like what it is, or is it just the distortion of the code? Somebody looking at it going, that's a crow. No, it's currawong. When we look at creativity in the same ways, it's like all of these voices. But are they voices that are like, they're a bit confused and they think that all blackbirds are crows? Is it truly the voice of God, the true origin of creativity, of what it's supposed to be? So let's time travel back in time. When did creativity begin? Was it a couple hundred years ago? Was it 1,000 years ago? Was it 5,000 years ago? Or was it the beginning of the human line? We as humans have always had the coding of creativity in us. From the very first moment when somebody put some mud in their mouth, their hand against the wall, and blew the mud across the hand and the mark on the stone, from tens of thousands of years ago, just to say, I was here. And the fact that we can still see many of those hand marks across walls today, the walls of rocks. I know here in Australia, the First Nations people were prolific art creators. Hand against the wall. I was here. And it inspires awe and magic and wonder that we can reach through time, we can reach through generations and see that exact moment on a wall that somebody breathed mud upon their own hand just to say, I was here. I wish to make my mark on the world. I wish to say, this is me in my simplest story of my hand. And then as we carved, and as we made the objects for us to drink water from, for us to eat from, for us to store things on, somebody, somewhere, the very first human picked up a stick and began to engrave on it. Not for any practical reason, but for beauty. To say I was here, to make it their own. The women in circles weaving their baskets together, and they begin to add in different grasses to change the lip just a little bit. Not to change the function, but for beauty. And to say I was here and I wanted something beautiful to reflect what I see out there. This is how it has been through all of time. In ancient Egypt, the stories in the pyramids, we have been documenting our stories, and we have been making meaning of our lives. And we have been wanting to show who we are in physical form. That is the spirit of creativity. That is the true origin call, all of us. And it was not just some special gifted ones deemed the artist in the tribe and in the village. It was all of us. You did not need to prove your worthiness. It did not have to be good. It was made, and that is good enough. If you enjoyed yourself while you made it, that is good enough. When my 11-year-old comes to me with her latest artwork and she says to me, "Mummy, what do you think? Do you like it?" And I say to her, "I love everything that you make because you made it, and I'm so excited that you made it. What's most important is, did you love making it?" And she says, "Yes." And I say, "Yes, that's the whole point of this." For whatever reason, my brain's never been able to take on the codes of other people. It's always just gone, whoa! It's a little bit wired, so it doesn't tend to take on the wire, like the coding of other people very well. It never seems to fit. And maybe that's because I'm neurodivergent and so I have a different operating system. But when I started seeing this inner critic creative code software trying to install in me, I thought, oh no, that's not for me. I don't like that. That's not fun. I'm here for fun. I'm here to enjoy the absolute shit out of myself. I'm here to keep making art because it's the most fucking fun I've ever had on the planet. I refuse to take on this software. It is not the voice of God. And so I am not interested. And it's that same, like when the coding of trying to be popular and trying to fit in came in, I was never going to anyway. I was going to have a real hard time trying to fit in. But I looked at the code and I thought, nobody's happy in this situation, even the ones that have won the popularity game, because they don't feel like they could be themselves to be popular. They're not having fun either. So I might as well just absolutely enjoy the shit out of being myself and just say no to the rest, because it's illogical. It makes no sense. It's not natural. When the software code for not loving your own body came through. I thought, oh, no, that's not for me. I'm so grateful that I've got a body to be in. And it's wonky and it does its own thing and it's liable to dislocate at a moment's notice. And I'm a curvy girl and there is not one thing that is wrong with me. How could it be? I was born to be this. God created me like this, and therefore it is perfect. Every mole that I have, and I have many, I think it is a kiss from God. It's like a star in the sky. It is meant to be there. And so I can live my life in that knowing. What a miracle, what a blessing. And I understand that you're saying, well, that's great, Leonie. You don't have the software codes, but I do, and they're so stuck inside me. And I said, that's okay, because I'm infectious. I'm a little virus in the software. And when you see that it doesn't make sense, and when you see that it's not God's voice, it gives you an opportunity to start clearing up some of those bugs, some of those software things that aren't natural, and for you to start playing around with some other ways of running the software. When people ask me, Leonie, how have you created so much? Honestly, my love, it's because I don't have that voice that tells me I should be anything but what I am. Why should I? Anyone who would have told me that would have been just confused and misguided in their own way. They are not God. They are not telling me the truth of life. They're just fucking confused. And I don't take advice from people who are lost and confused. I do not rate my worthiness as a soul, as a body, as a creative on some person who is lost and confused and is walking around hitting walls going, oh, I guess the way I'll deal with all this pain inside me is to criticize somebody else. Fuck that. You're not God. God's voice is so different from that. And if God is a triggering word for you, I completely understand. Whatever word works for you. For me, for years, it was Great Spirit or Goddess or Mama Earth or angels, benevolent beings, benevolent ancestors, whatever, just that higher perspective of possibility, the higher perspective of love, allowing that to channel through you and speak to you, because that has the direct source codes of God in it. And so I want to take you on a little journey now to really experience this. So if you feel like you're taking deep breaths, closing your eyes down, feeling comfortable in your beautiful body in this beautiful moment. Right here, right now, there's nowhere else you need to be. There's nothing else you need to be doing. There's nobody else you need to be either. Just you, beautiful you. All right, breaths deep down into your belly. Exhaling and sighing it out. This has all been a lot of information, a lot of new perspectives. So just let breath work through it with you. Deep breath in and exhale through your mouth. letting those shoulders drop, letting everything relax just a little bit again. Now seeing that beautiful golden fleck of light in the center of your chest, of your heart again. And now I want you to see that fleck of light coming out before you like a pathway. And I want you to follow this pathway. See yourself in your mind's eye, following this golden pathway. And soon you may see in your mind's eye, as you move into a slightly different terrain, it might be the base of a mountain, maybe a river, maybe a cave, maybe a constellation of stars. Whatever it is, following this golden path. And soon up ahead you see in the distance a figure. And she is dressed most beautifully. Seems it's so at home, so alive, so in magic with the world. And when she turns, you see her. And you realize it is you. It is the highest part of you. It is the creative goddess part of you. And she has been waiting to meet you. Reunite with her. Let her hold your hands. Let her look into your eyes. Let her tell you everything you need to know about your creative magic. You are not alone in creating. Each time you step up to create, you are connecting with this creative goddess, and together you can create and receive anything on a whole deep new level. You no longer have to face anything alone. She is with you, And she is the original source code of creativity, the voice of God working through her. And so you begin to walk together on this golden path unfurling before you. And you can see up ahead some of the creative blocks that you may experience, and they appear as enormous boulders right in the middle of your path, blocking you from continuing. This may be the boulder of, I'm not good enough, or is this good enough, of worthiness. And turn to your creative goddess and ask her, what do I do with this? And she will laugh and show you. Maybe she takes you by the hand and just walks you around the boulder. You can just walk around the boulder. You don't have to just keep standing there staring at the boulder. You can just walk around it. She may reach out with her finger and just touch it with light, and it just disintegrates. She may ask for help, and 1,000 angels descend from the sky, and they pick it up. They just go plop it in the ocean, and it becomes a new home for reef fish to build their little homes underneath. That's a good thing for that boulder to be. That's really useful. That's really restorative. That's very helpful. Nature is healing, and so are we. Maybe there's a pickaxe involved. There's so many ways that you could deal with these blocks. And when that's gone, carrying on up the path, until you get to the next boulder, the next block, the block of, oh, but somebody said this, nobody bought my thing, the disappointments, the criticism. You turn to your creative goddess and say, how do we deal with this? And she laughs, and she either does exactly the same as last time, or she does something else, works creative magic on it a different way. Maybe it's made out of clay, and maybe it's just like a lot of rain washes on it and it just sort of just melts away. Maybe Sisyphus is needing some new boulders to push up a mountain, and he needs to, is it Sisyphus who rolls up the mountain? I don't fucking know. That dude, he loves to just push shit up a mountain. He actually needs to upgrade his weights routine. He's been looking for a really good boulder. He's like, oh my God, thanks guys. And he's just like, oh, look at this. It's like a dog with a bone. He's so excited. He's got a new boulder. He could just keep pushing up the mountain by himself because that's his thing that he loves doing. It's not yours. You don't have to do that. That's his job. Just let him go with it. Then you can just laugh and let the journey unfold some more. And now you may find yourself just skipping and laughing as you're running along this creative path with your creative goddess. And then there's another boulder, but it's like a big gate and it's like a padlock maybe, and it's like, oh, you will not pass. I promise you, you can't do this. You turn to your creative goddess and you say, well, what do we do with this one? She's like, this is one for the fairies. And they come in and they enchant the little troll behind there. And he's like, oh, I've just been feeling sad and lonely. Actually, I just wanted some friends. And I'm like, we know. Come, I don't know, braid some freaking flower chains with us, or I don't know, do something like way more helpful. Just, I don't know, come dig some trenches with us and we can build some fun little community gardens together. He's like, oh, that sounds like fun. Or maybe she just touches it with light again and it all disintegrates. Maybe the rainbow serpent comes along. The rainbow serpent is a First Nations creation story, and it's the way that Australia was built, was through the carvings and the movements of the rainbow serpent. The rainbow serpent, he's a bit hungry. He's like, oh, you know what I really feel like? A metal gate right now, or a big boulder. And he just opens his mouth, just swallows it whole, like it would a big wallaby. Gulp, gone. And rainbow serpent's off into the sky, doing his magic. And look at that. The path ahead of you just opened up. And you know that if there's any other blocks that come up, you turn to your creative goddess and say, what do we do with this one? She says, watch us go. You know what we could try doing this time? We could do this. Or we'll just age-old love into disintegration. Perfect. And ahead of you on this golden trail of creativity is all of the artworks and all of the creations and all of the magic that you are going to birth into this world in your lifetime and beyond. Every moment of magic, every moment of miracles, every moment of mindfulness and healing, because you have engaged in this beautiful, innate, intuitive form of creating like you were born to, because you truly were. And now turning to face your creative goddess. If you like, placing your hands on her heart as she places her hands on your heart. Taking deep breaths in. And slowly, slowly you merge together and become one. Exactly how it was meant to be. And you know that you can call on her and awaken her and turn to her at any time. You are not alone. You have your own dearly beloved best friend, soulmate inside you. The creative goddess is home, and she is you. And when you are ready, coming back into your body, noticing the ways that you feel different. This is the path of creative magic and the creative goddess, the original source code of how creating should be, full of wonder and awe and magic and healing. Now, we will draw the prize for the person who receives entry to Creative Goddess, which begins tomorrow. So I'm just going to look through. see. Blythe, you beautiful human. Blythe, you have won free enrollment in Creative Goddess, which begins tomorrow. And if you're already in Creative Goddess or you're in the academy, then you can give that enrollment to somebody else. If you're in my academy, you get free access to Creative Goddess. And so that begins tomorrow. So Blythe, if you could email in support@leoniedawson.com, and we will be able to fix up your enrollment for you. So just for the next couple of minutes, I just wanted to share with you about the journey that I'm going to be taking people on with Creative Goddess Embodied, which starts tomorrow. The thing with creative, this activation may just be like, whoo, I'm here, and like it's all whole, like I'm on the path. I am just going to create like magic now. And I am so thrilled and I'm so happy to hear this. For those of you who are wanting to dive deeper into this to allow the activation to take place on an even deeper cellular level and really go on a beautiful journey with me, including with we're going to be doing some creative projects as well as the musings and meditations, and really bringing back that original source code of creativity so that you can create wildly, prolifically, joyfully, the way that we're meant to. Creative Goddess Embodied starts tomorrow. Creative Goddess is actually the very first program that I created in 2008. I started running it in 2007 as in-person workshops, and I had so many people on my blog saying, I wish I could experience this, but I'm in America, I'm in Scotland. And then I heard the word e-course for the very first time, and I thought, okay, I'm in. And I created the Creative Goddess program and ran that for many years and had tens of thousands of people go through it. And it was incredibly powerful, incredibly powerful. That ended up being retired 7 years ago. And then when I asked the angels what they'd like me to bring through next, they said, we want you to do Creative Goddess, but on a whole new level after 2 decades of creating, and how you've managed to sustain that creative well, how to prevent creative burnout, how to stay in that space of inspiration and magic again and again and again. So Creative Goddess Embodied is all about that, and going on this beautiful mystical quest and journey again to make that happen. So that's happening tomorrow. And for anybody who feels called to join us, please do check it out. I want to say thank you so much for giving yourself the gift of this time, for the miracles, the blessings, your comments, your insights, your sharings, the blessing of being able to connect with your energy through that golden network of light. It is incredibly powerful. I look forward to connecting with you again in whatever way you feel called to. And I can't wait to see what you create with that incredible creative magic. I want you to know that I am cheering for you. I am so excited to see what you make next, including the dog next door. And may we continue creating our powerful magic with the world, because it needs it, and so do we.